Hello, this is Anthony with 27th Fire. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you. For those that watch my videos, I very much appreciate it. A lot of times it ranges anywhere from tasting sodas to tasting candy to creating humor to actually looking at survival things and prepping and all this, which I very much believe. But I feel right now, unless the Lord changes something, that's one of this. And after I get done doing today's video, I will probably do, since it's Friday night, I'm going to try to do a sermon. I really need to. I haven't really been doing that like I want to. A lot of the longer videos, people don't really like to spend a lot of time, but I definitely, either I'm being led by the Spirit to say the right thing, because it definitely seems like more people are looking at my longer videos, and we're almost up to 300, and my goal isn't really, I want to be a big YouTube star and all that. Actually, I want to be led of the Spirit. I want to walk in the things of God, and I want to share things with people, encourage people, and just do what I need to. I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference is what I want to do. And I've been a pastor, and I'm doing different things. And today, before I do my sermon, I'm going to, Temu is, I would recommend, if you don't have much money, it can be addictive, be careful. But the little Temu app out of China, even though, most of our stuff comes from China anyway. I don't know if we're going to end up how the tariffs are going to work out, but I've been looking at Temu stuff. My wife started me on it, and it's a bunch of stuff good to show off. And for some, what I would recommend is if you've got a few extra dollars, is I would look at some of these items and I know it's awful early, but get Christmas out of the way now. If there's they've got very unusual things, from everything from coffee grinders to holsters to knives to crocheting stuff. They really cover quite a spectrum. And a lot of times it's very affordable, and you can get a free few gifts, which is what I think this one is. But you got to be careful on how you touch the buttons, because then you have stuff arriving that you didn't know about, and you'll see later videos on that. But so here it is. This is like a survival kit, first aid kit, kind of a combo thing. But one of the things I like is this is only like $5 or $8, wasn't much. And one of the things about Temu is the prices have a tendency to change. In other words, an item's a certain price one day, and then later it's another price. But most of it is within reach. Is it quality? Some ain't too bad. Some I'm not too sure about, but it's fun. I'll have to admit that it is fun. And it's nice to have something to show up. But be careful that you start ordering too much. But on this, we got it from Temu. I'm not even pronouncing that correctly. My wife helps me out on those things a lot of times. I don't always do good on the internet. But I like the box. The box has 4 flaps, so it's not going to just break open real easy. Even if you break one, you still got one on each side and the back. It's got a nice little seam here. And it's got a cord, so you can carry it. And I like that. It's like, to me, I look at this and I think, man, there's been some thought put into this thing. So let's just open it up and see what we got. And as far as survival goes, one of the things I like about this is on the top part, it actually has some padding for your product. So basically when you're going through it, it's not going to sit there and just rattle. So in your survival, we got some paracord, if you're trying to build a shelter or maybe a trap or something. So you got a little bit there, but also you have the wrist bracelet, and it's got paracord too. So if you need more paracord, you break it apart, or if you just need something on your wrist, and it does have right there. Let's see here. Let's open this bad boy up. Bad boy. And so it's got a little compass right there. So that's really cool. And it's got a whistle on the side. Look at that. Ooh, that's a very loud, annoying little whistle. And so it's actually not a bad little Not bad. And it's got little, yeah, it's got a whistle. And it has something here I did not look up. I don't know what this is about. And I don't know if it slides out. Oh, I think it's to make it stronger here in the wrist, but it's comfortable. So it's multifunction. This, for a cheap little kid, it's pretty well thought out. So it's got a thing for putting on your belt. I'm not going to open all these, so put something here. This will hook belt loop, so you can store other things. Now, I've been getting comments on some of my videos, and the truth is I don't know everything. I'm just kind of looking at these and learning some of them on my own. And so I've been getting people who are commenting and telling me maybe some more ideas on some of these products and what can be done and how they can be used. And I do appreciate it. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. So this thing is far more than a spork. This thing is like crazy. So we got a nice angled spoon there. You can almost use that as a shovel if you had to. And it's got a crazy fork. It does have a little saw on it. It has like a bottle opener or a seatbelt thing, or you could actually hang that with. Over here's a bottle opener. But it's got multifunction. It's got other things going on. If you needed to, like a knife or something were put in here, then you could use this thing to like twist it. And so it's a nice little setup. I like it. Hey, and it comes with a comb. You don't see that very often. Got a little comb. And now a lot of times, now it's got a little flashlight, which is really cool. And the batteries aren't in it, so it's just ready to go. So this is all stored. Oh, it's like aircraft aluminum. So it's a metal flashlight, not a cheap plastic one. And it does have a thing so you can put it in your pocket, or maybe a shirt pocket, tail pocket, but it definitely has that, and it's really cool. As of yet, I do not see any batteries, but I'm sure they're in here. Now, a lot of you got to pay attention. You see these crazy teeth on the end of your flashlight? Not everybody knows what they're for, but this is sort of like the last ditch effort. So, especially if you're a young lady or woman, girl, whatever, you want to stab your assailant with this. And what this is to collect DNA. This is some skin, some blood. You want to give it all you got. And that's what it is. Or you can even use it maybe to help fend yourself off. They're small blades, but from the material I've read on some of these flashlights that have these raised little parts, it actually is to collect DNA. So that means, unfortunately, if something happens to you, you die, that if you leave this flashlight and they can find it, then they can get some DNA off of it. And not everybody remembers to pick up things like that or even knows what it's for, but it would definitely fit a woman's hand, and when you give it everything you got. It's like it's starting to flood and you're the third monkey and it's starting to rain, and you're going to give it everything you got. Here we got some Q-tips, nice pack. I don't think I've ever seen this many Q-tips. Matter of fact, it says 100 pieces. Depending on your situation, I'm sure, you could even use these for fire starter, cleaning wounds, or you've always got to be careful with these things cleaning your ears, or maybe a young lady needs to apply her makeup. So it's got a really neat hole saw. This is actually pretty well built. And, yeah, that's nice. I don't know if you've ever operated one of these, but you have to, this isn't just always a quick skill to develop, and then you got to be careful to break these. If you can build yourself a bow with maybe some willow wood or whatever soft wood you got, something that will have a curve to it, in other words, you kind of hook it in there and maybe you get it on a knot or a tree limb. But if you have to, you can use it this way, maybe to get started. But if this thing is stretched out on a limb, you're far better off. And it takes some skill to use this. And don't get in a big hurry. You want to just sit there and This is almost one of these things. What I found out about some of this stuff, and this is what I've started, is I've actually been trying to get to a point that I actually go out and try some of this. I went out and tried the emergency blanket, and unfortunately for me, some of this stuff is in centimeters, and I really don't know the actual length. But one of the emergency blankets I got in the kit the other day, I tried it, and on that size blanket, I would have to have 2 or 3 of those to even cover up, or maybe 4 to even build a tent out of it. And this is 120 by 210 centimeters, which seems like it's pretty good size. So I'll actually have to look that up. We just don't do that type to see how good, but comes with a nice little emergency blanket. And I'm looking at it thinking this is probably going to cover a bigger guy, or maybe come close to building some type of shelter. And in this kit, here we got our fire starter. And, if you need to build a fire. And yeah. And even with these things, you got to have some skill. Oops. Has a little plastic covering. You got to get the coating off of it. Zach actually did a better job of playing with it. Here, Zach, play with that a second. Get that where it can do something. And this is like a ring. It's got a screwdriver. There we go. Put your hands in front of the camera. Go ahead, show him. There you go. There you go. As long as we don't set the house on fire. Awesome. He's a lot better at it than I am. And so this is actually 2 screwdrivers. But if a person had to, you could put this on the end of a stick. Both of them are pretty sharp. If you need to make a spear out of it, looks like it could be done. There's a little ring here. It is metal. And I'm sure there's some other things that could be done with it, but it definitely could be turned into like an arrowhead. And I think that's a good idea. And you got another compass. And this is more like a compass that I would use when I was in the military. And it's possible, it'd have to be out in the sun, but I'm not sure this couldn't be used for a magnifying glass if you're trying to start fire another way. There might be enough plastic in this thing. And then you have like a miniature pill bottle here. And so this is really cool. And it does have a ring on it for a keychain. Maybe put some oil in here. Maybe you got pills that you need to carry with you, so you can put some extra medicine inside this pill box. Maybe you're diabetic or would do good on your insulin, but maybe there's something that this is just big enough that you can put your emergency medicine in there, and I think it's good. It's very durable. This isn't like cheap. I mean, at least it doesn't strike me as cheap. It looks like it could actually be used, and if you needed to, and in an emergency situation, hopefully have it up. Carabine, all of a sudden I lost the name of this, but if you're trying to get this to attach to your belt and not have to carry it, or you're using it with, where'd that go? In with this, or maybe you're putting your flashlight in here and carrying your flashlight on this thing. But you've got different options on this carabine, and so it also comes with some hooks, some little jigs, and some fishing lines. So it does come with a decent little kit. I do think these are really nice. It comes with tweezers. A lot of times out in the woods you get a splinter, and this thing would come in handy. So I think that's a very good, but I don't see, unless you're going to use a fish hook, and that could be kind of scary. But if you had to dig it out, you can use the fish hook, you can straighten it out. But I've gotten, I'm out camping, working in wood, and on occasion I've gotten a splinter. Of course, there's no band-aids in this. It's kind of an unusual kit, but I think there's room in there for stuff. And so you have that, and then looks like we have another whistle along with what's on the wrist. I find some of these kits just interesting to see what the thinking is and what they put into them. Yep, got another whistle. It looks like a 2-barrel. Nice. And most whistles are plastic, so if you fell on a rock or did something, it would be, they'd be gone. Now, one of the things I like about this is, you could probably hit that with a hammer. So this is meant to make it through a tough spot. You know, as long as you can keep it together. I'm sure this box, if everything's in it, probably floats. But I like it. It's metal, it's strong. I don't know how strong these are. It's got a nice sewing kit. And this is one of the most unusual multi-tools, or whatever, not a multi-tool, but generally like the little card thing that you see in there. And anyway, it's a Sasquatch. I think it's pretty cool. So if you get bored and you're out in the woods by yourself, stuck there for a few hours, you don't have Mr. Wilson, you have Mr. Sasquatch or Mr. Bigfoot. Hi, Mr. Bigfoot, I'm glad you're out here with me. You can, of course, the people with you might think you've got a little mental, but still it can be kind of fun. And also, tell you the truth, I mean, it definitely has the small wrench thing, has the soda pop thing, and I'm sure you can put something in there to twist. I did not look up. Actually, there's no paper. There's nothing here that really says, hey, this is what you do with this. But I'm sure you can figure it out. I mean, it has a hole. He's carrying a billy club. A lot of these have different shapes, and maybe on this kit there's a purpose for it. But I do not know all of them. And trying to get this end to be a wrench, yeah, you might be lucky. Or you could probably get it to lodge in some of the feet, but I'm sure it has some purposes. Other than that, Mr. Sasquatch, I think is pretty cool. And here's what I'm normally used to when I see these kits, is one that's folded. It's in a little plastic. You see these quite often. And then this actually tells you, it comes with a card, so you can opener, knife edge, screwdriver, ruler, cap opener, 4-position wrench for various size nuts bolts, butterfly wrench, saw blade, direction auxiliary indication, 2-position wrench, lanyard keyhole, 4-key ring. And then on the back it's got it numbered. So this one actually has some information, what to use and how to use it. And on the back side of this is actually covered too. So the cool thing about that is I think in some ways this stuff isn't going to rattle. But I do like Mr. Bigfoot. Hi, Mr. Bigfoot. We'll put him back in. So just, I don't, $5, $6, $8, $10. I mean, I don't even remember, but it was just a little kit. It definitely lacks Band-Aids. It definitely lacks a few items, and but on the other hand, it's got some unusual items. I like the indicators. I like some of that thing. I like the emergency blanket, but it doesn't have. Maybe some of you will come up with some other things. Maybe this is not just a medicine tube, but maybe it's for keeping matches in. But I don't always like to fight matches. I like, if I'm going to store something, I like multiple lighters. I like more than one lighter on my person if I'm going to be in the spot that I might need it. And with the rope, I mean a lean-to. I don't think I've ever seen one emergency kit with a comb, but if you're a girl and you're bored, or even a guy and you're just feeling kind of unclean, but there's no toothpaste or anything like that in here. And I'm sure it's like with this, if you took your paracord or whatever, and maybe you're just using a smaller piece, and then you have an ability to connect your tent and take it away, using these, or just use them on your belt, or most of this stuff has equipment It's actually a pretty cool little kit. I like it. I would add some things to it if I actually were going to carry it. And I'm not sure the thinking on it. I do find it kind of interesting, but I would definitely add more in certain areas. But some of the quality I really do like, and I think it's a good kit. I would recommend it. It's on Temu. If you're interested in this type of kit, just look it up. You'll see it, and I'm sure you can do some other things. And but you know, you got your fire starter. If you're, I like a light or prefer a lighter. You know, I don't want to fight these things. What were you doing? Show me how. I did it the other day, and right now I can't think to do it. You're going on the end? Oh. Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening, and I appreciate it. If you have some info or input you want to put in on this, it's pretty cool. There he goes, trying to light up the house. And thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll go on to some other toys and enjoy what we do and enjoy how we do it. And if you want to ask questions or point things out, go ahead. I generally don't pay attention to rude comments, but you know what? I've been pretty blessed so far that most of my listeners have actually been pretty positive. You know, they haven't been attacking or putting us down, and you know, we're just here to kind of like have some fun and see what God wants to do. And hopefully you'll listen to the sermons, and I'll share some other information with you or to you. And you ever notice it's a lot easier to get stuff apart than it is to put it back together again? So I'll just leave off a few bags. We got that? I think he plays with this more than I do. So what do you think, Zach? Is this a good kit?
Yeah.
You like this?
Yeah.
So anyway, he definitely experiments with these more than I do. Oh, you're going right here. Okay. I need practice, don't I? Either that or I got to make sure the kids are with me to show me how to operate this stuff. And I'll put the little sleeve back on since it was there in the first place. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for showing up.